Don't you know that from coast to coast, where there's dope, there's hope, where there's dope, there's hope. Sheesh. Wait, is it lit? Don't you know that?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back
Welcome back, y'all.
to another episode of the Herbal Tea Podcast with your boy EarthTone.
And your man Peasy.
Oh man, y'all stuck around, huh?
You guys stuck around.
So y'all came back. That's what's up. All right, well, welcome
Y'all
for joining
ready
us
for
again.
more?
We had a lot of fun last episode.
We
that
did.
Was a wild little ride.
This was amazing.
Yeah, it was dope. So I hope you guys, if you didn't hear the first episode, go back and check it, listen to it, because we definitely gave a nice little overview of what the show is about, what we're about, and what we're going to get into. But we're not going to redo that again right now. In this episode, we're going to keep it moving. So
We're gonna keep it all
we're going to get
moving.
into this music. But speaking of music, didn't you just...
I did what I do.
What did
I
you
do?
do?
What did we do? What did we do?
What did you do? You
Oh, we did
something.
that. We did that.
Oh, okay.
We talked about ethos last time on In These Streets, so I just
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to remind everybody this is the cover for the album Ethos, latest
Okay.
album
I
out
mean,
on.
as we said, we are Q plus artists.
Yes.
This show is for Q plus artists,
For
by Q
sure.
plus artists, and we got none other than I.K.P right
So
here.
we're going to celebrate that. Go visit my website, ikp.me. That's where you can find the album. And that is the cover for it.
Absolutely, just a little reminder.
Just
you know
a
what I'm saying?
little
Keep y'all
reminder.
up to date on the goings on.
That's
around
what we
here.
do. This is what we can do.
Exactly. But without further ado, let's get into this music. So we reviewing these albums. Who do we got on the menu for today's list?
Man, we got a lot of great artists.
Yeah, it's interesting. We got a lot of great artists the first show. That
had
was
a lot of great
it was a
artists
nice
the
show.
first
So we got to
shows.
kind of top that, keep the same energy going. You know, like we said, the objective is we're not trying to get nobody no dirt out here. We don't want to review no boring ass, whack ass projects.
We don't.
want to discover and find some new shit that we can relate to you guys and promote it, and for y'all to go out and check it out. So first on the list, we have none other. Who?
Get that right.
None other than
None other.
King Princess.
King Princess.
Okay, hailing from BK. Okay, Kings County.
Kings County.
BK in the building.
It's a lot of kings.
From BK, singer-songwriter, signed to Mark Ronson. For those of you who know anything about Mark Ronson, Uptown Funk
That's true.
with
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars. They had the smash hit, but he's a known producer, known for smash hits. So she working with him. She signed with him, so she good. She's a lesbian of lesbian persuasion.
Yes.
Singer-songwriter. And she's actually dating the creative director for Lizzo. So Lizzo's creative director, her name is Quinn Wilson. That's who she's dating. I found that little tidbit out.
Look
so
at
that's
these
kind of interesting.
Q plus
It's kind of
artists
crazy,
taking
right? We
over
out
the
here,
industry,
man. She not playing.
dating
She
each
not fucking
other.
around.
How could that be?
She not fucking around. And then she recently played the last Glastonbury festival in the UK.
right.
And Mark Ronson came out dressed as her for their set.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that was pretty interesting.
That's a matter.
Yeah, exactly. But do you know, like, what is your take on King Princess? Have you heard of this? I've never heard of her before. This is my first time, learning about her.
I actually found out about King Princess because she performed on one of my favorite late night TV shows, Late Show with Stephen Colbert. She performed her single, Hit the Bat. And I was like, whoa, this shit. And I had seen her album cover going around, like they were promoting it a lot. So I was kind of curious.
the Cheap
because,
Queen joint.
Yeah, the Cheap Queen album. And she's kind of dressed in drag. So I'm like, oh, she's got to be family. So let's look into her. And I saw her performance and I was like, yo, E,
Wow.
let's
definitely hit
let's
me.
look at this album.
Definitely put me on because I had not heard about her, so that was dope. But yeah, so we're gonna be checking out her project. Cheap Queen
Cheap
is the title.
Queen.
She dropped it in October 25th. It's a full length, 13 songs. It's 13 but short, kind of 38 minutes, about 38 minutes long.
Yeah.
And this is her debut full length. So I think she put out like singles here and there and a little, maybe an EP or something before
Yeah.
this, but this is her first like debut full length studio album.
Oh, just she did go viral. That's how she became,
What did she go? What did
She
she go
went
viral?
viral. She had a song called 1950s, which was celebrating queer love.
Okay.
And it got retweeted. When some of the lyrics got retweeted by Harry Styles from One Direction.
Okay.
So that gave her
that's a big
widespread
deal.
audience. So after that, it was a rap. She got signed, of course. So
She definitely got signed.
Yeah.
I mean, you get signed to Mark Ronson.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not light.
So that's a lot. And she in turn opened for Harry Styles on, I think, his last tour.
Okay. Well, we checking out this Cheap Queen. I listened to the whole project, top to bottom, and I fuck with this project, man. I fuck with King Princess. I gave it a loud 75% loud. And that's like at the top tier of the loud spectrum. Loud 75%. That's what I gave this project overall. Let's get into it. So
let's talk about it. What?
it's crazy but the song, so one of my favorite joints, and it's crazy when I heard it because I heard it like, I'm listening to it in my headphones. I got my Herbal Tea January playlist, and I'm like, all right, boom. The shit just popped on in my headphones, and it's called If You Think It's Love. And I think it's the last track on the album, and it's like a slow, it's like an electro ballad. It's like it got one of them funky type beats, no drums, and then her voice is just is real mystical on this joint. And the shit she's saying, she's like, if you think it's love, it is. If you think it's trust, it is. Like she kind of in her emo bag, you know, your singer-songwriter, just give me a guitar and let me talk about my sorrows type shit.
For sure.
She going in, but it's hard. And her voice is dope. And then her production choices, she got like, it's singer-songwriter, indie pop, but it's still got like a touch of soul in it, which I really appreciate. I love that. I love that whole combo right there.
Bruh.
So that joint right there, that's my favorite joint off of the track. It's mad poetic. And she got that slight robotic reverb on the voice and shit. Like she just do little subtle shit that I be like fucking with. So that's my shit right there. And then she got the song, Do You Want to See Me Crying? Which it's not even really a song. It's like 1 minute and 40 seconds. It's kind of like mostly an instrumental, and then she just come in at the end on some. It give me that Aaliyah Timbo vibe. Like it got that kind of funky, like retro, late 90s. I don't know. She's just giving me all of those vibes. She was like, I keep my money in my hands now and feel better with my heart out.
Come on, Cheap Queen.
What? Like that line, just think about that line. She's saying so much in such a short little line with shit like that. And that's how her pen works. Like she nice like that. You get a lot of those little one-liners, but you can unpack them in so many different ways.
You could tell she's really a songwriter, a singer-songwriter.
For your first effort, for somebody who I never heard of, like it was very refreshing listening to this project. I listened to it mad times, top to bottom. It's a dope project, man. I definitely think y'all gotta go check it out. But yeah, I gave it a loud 75%. So yeah,
so
that was my rating.
You hit the same songs.
Seriously?
That I was gonna highlight.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
All right, well, go ahead. Do your thing. Go ahead.
You
Go
use the
ahead.
same songs.
Do your thing.
First of all, my rating for it is also loud.
Okay.
It's a 70. I gave it a 70% because I liked. There's how many tracks? Is it 13 tracks on the album?
13 tracks. Yeah.
I liked about 9 or 10 of them.
Okay.
And Is This Love? If this is love, I think is what it's called. Is definitely a highlight for me. I wrote down the line, if this is love, I want my money back because I could use the check to spend it on a better heart to wear on my sleeve. My nigga.
Yep.
When
it's If You Think It's Love. That's the name of the track. Yeah.
So when I tell you she was singing all my emotions.
But then I heard it, like every time I heard her song, because I threw her in a playlist with everybody else. So like her song would come on after like, you know, somebody else, right? And the song just came on and that, like the lines was just hitting me. Like I was just listening to shit she was singing like, damn, like she going in. And she left mad room in the production. It ain't much going on. Like you gotta listen to what she's saying.
That's it.
She talking her shit. She like, yo, I want you to listen to this because I'm talking my shit. And it's the last song on the whole project. Yeah. And she just goes off. Like
it's a perfect send-off. And she produces her own material.
I did not. That's key. I didn't know that.
She produces her own
that's
stuff.
hard.
She plays
see, now
like
I want to see. Now I want to see her live.
She's just playing most of the things that's on the album.
Yeah. So, see, I got to see her live.
So you're getting a full. You're getting a full album. You're getting everything from her. That was the one you also mentioned. Do You Want to See Me Crying
Yeah.
was my highlight.
That's great.
That was my highlight.
See?
Also, the title track, Cheap Queen. And
I love that song.
That song.
I figured you was gonna talk about that one, so I ain't even bring that one up. But I love that song.
That song is,
that's my shit.
That song is too fire and Profit. That was my other. But I mean, look,
it's a lot of them.
Hit the Bag.
It's a few of them.
Watching My Phone, I know what that's like.
I can listen to this song top to bottom like a few times without wondering like, all right, damn, I need to kind of listen to something else. Like I listened to it like 4 or 5 times, like in cycle, like back to back, just looping it, and it sounded like I was hearing different shit every time.
Yeah,
like every time, I'm like, damn, I don't remember hearing this song. Like what? Like it was just dope.
You hear it differently. You hear something new about it every time, and you don't hear stuff like that in albums. But that's like the definition of a loud album.
That's a loud album. So you're gonna earn these ratings. You gotta earn these ratings.
Man.
And the other joint I really like was the other short joint, Useless Phrases. 1:16, a minute and 16 seconds. Short and sweet. But she just like, you said you want me back, but I ain't. Come on, like I don't want to hear that shit. Like save your breath. That's some useless phrase. You could just say that shit, but it's just like air, like you breathing. Like shut up, my nigga. I don't want to hear that shit.
We've been there.
See, you got this shit on your nose. All right, enough said, man. Loud. Second episode, Tone and P's, the Herbal Tea Podcast, man. What can we say?
Go check
what can we
out
say,
Cheap
man?
Queen. I like the fact
What can we
that
say, man?
give
King
love
Princess.
to that
I
album.
fuck with the name too, like King Princess. That's kind of hard. I actually know somebody on IG with a King Princess, but they spell it with 2 Z's, the S's. But it's like, but that's dope. I love that name. That's hard. But
I mean, we all
King
royalty.
Princess, Cheap Queen. Out now on all streaming platforms. Go check it out, man. You got a loud from your boys Tone and Peasy. What do y'all think? Hit us up in the comments. Let us know. herbal.t.pod. Who do we got next on the docket?
Next, we got. Let's see. Let's get into this for a second.
What's going on right now?
give me
Take
a
your
whole
time. Take your
second.
time. Ain't no rush. We out here, man.
We got a whole lot of a new Q plus artists on the slate.
Shout out to the Q plus artists
Shout out
there.
to everybody. The next artist we're going to talk about is Oliver Twixt.
Uh-oh.
Oliver Twixt, he's pretty new. He's a pretty new artist. Media personality from South Florida who's performed at Atlanta's A3C Festival in 2015.
Okay.
He won Storyteller of the Year at the YGEA Awards. And he has a YouTube blog called The Petty Eddie Show.
Petty Eddie.
The Petty Eddie Show.
Come on, Petty Eddie.
And is a project assistant for DJ George 2.0 of Wonderland Records, which is Janelle Monáe's label. So he has this track called Sugar.
Okay.
With his featuring Lyric Lecrae.
Lyric
Lachey.
Lyric.
We're gonna fuck up songs.
Lyric Lachey? Is that how you say it?
Lyric Rushay.
Lyric Rushay.
We are gonna fuck up names.
I haven't heard of Lyric Rushay. I'm not sure. Is she a singer? I think she's a singer, right? Oh, he is a singer?
He's a rapper.
Lyric
He's the one-
Rushay?
Yeah. He's a rapper.
He's the one rapping?
He's the one rap. The first guy, I think, is Oliver. And then in the middle towards the end is
Oh,
Lyric
now see, I didn't say.
Rushay.
All right, go ahead. Do your thing.
Yeah, that's who's on the song. And this is basically a third standalone single of 2019. All right. Unfortunately, I do not like this song. I had to give it a dirt.
Oh shit!
I had to give it a dirt.
Yo,
I had to give it out, man. I had to give it out, and I'm gonna be all the way 100 with it.
Damn, I gotta say, I'm really surprised.
I'm gonna be all the way 100 with it. Like, okay, I understand what he's doing. Like, it's kind of a throwback feel because he's sampling Janet, heavily on the record, which I thought
very
kinda to a
heavily.
fault. Like when you have a Janet sample, we get what you're doing, but you kind of let her do the heavy lifting. She already did the song. So,
Janet Jackson featuring Oliver Twist.
basically. You know what I'm saying? So when you sample like that, you're not really giving enough room for your own personality to shine.
And then it's Janet. Like you letting Janet take your song.
Take your song. And the song, you didn't even produce it like that. Like, it's not even that well produced.
It's cut. It's just like a chunk.
Yeah. So I don't think that really works in favor of somebody who's new. Or if this is one of your newest singles, somebody hearing you for the first time, this wasn't the one. And the person rapping, Lyric Rushay, saying his name correctly, he kind of out-rapped you.
Well, I didn't know who was who. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck, but go ahead.
Yeah. He kind of out-rapped them. And that's basically how I feel about the record. It's too much of a sample. The person you have featured on there kind of gave a little bit of a better performance. I just thought it could have been better in so many different ways. You're giving a good feel-good two-step bop, and it's okay. Like, that's what the kids want. Club, floor on the floor, something they could dance to. But this wasn't it.
Wow.
So I'm sorry.
Dirt.
But
ladies and
sorry, not
gentlemen.
sorry. I'm just saying. It's just dirt. It's what
The
it
Herbal
is.
Tea Podcast. So we had our first agreement on the first episode, and now we got our first dirt. Our first dirt rating on the second episode. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man.
Dirt. I really wasn't expecting that. So here's my take on it. All right. I gave it a mid.
Okay.
I gave it on the low end of the mid, like a 35, 30%. Because overall, like everything you mentioned about it, I agree with 100%. All of your gripes are correct. But at the end of the day, I feel like it is a decent song. It's not a bad song. Like, he took the Janet sample, which I agree, way too much Janet. Like, it sounded like pretty much a remix of a Janet, like a club remix of a Janet song. You just doing some verses. Like, that's all it sounded like. But it does sound good. Like, the way they did it, the way, he used Janet, it was dope. It just, it takes away from, especially you being a newer artist and people not really having that much material from you.
Sure,
that is a
man.
strike against you. But given that, outside of that, if you were just taking that away and not putting that into the equation, it's a decent song. Like, it sounds good. It could bop, you know what I mean? It got a nice feel-good vibe to it. I saw the video. I think he shot it on Coney Island on the beach and shit. It's a nice little vibe. But I absolutely did not know who was rapping. I didn't know. I thought both of those verses were Oliver Twist. Like, I thought Lyric Rashay was maybe doing ad-libs on the Janet part. Like,
Well,
at the breakdown moment, it's like,
And if I'm mistaken on it,
I don't know. I could be wrong too. But it was just like, he's a
don't
new
be-
artist to me. I'm not familiar with him, so that's what I first took away, because both of the verses sound like the same person to me.
It didn't.
And I thought the verses,
heard-
whoever was on the verses, I thought the verses was decent. They sound like, it's good rapping voices. They were going in, the flows were decent. But it was just like, you sound like you're featured on a Janet Jackson song.
I heard a different tone between the two verses. I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too.
But
I don't know.
I mean, I think anyhow, that second rap verse was better than the first one. And if it is a different person, then like I said, they outshine whoever was first.
All right. I mean, I thought both of the verses was decent. I thought the last one was better, but I didn't think it was like a big gap between them. But overall, I thought the song was like a mid, like low mid.
Yeah.
35, 33% mid, which is, it's not bad, but damn, dirt. Woo.
Yeah, man. It is what it is.
Hey,
It is
so
what it
there you
is.
have it. Oliver Twist,
Just my thoughts.
Sugar, featuring Lyric Rashay. Came out September 20th, so go check that out. Streaming on all platforms. Let us know what you think. Peasy thought it was that.
Absolutely.
He gave it that dirt.
Listen for yourself.
I gave it the mid, so hey, it is what it is.
And
We not
you
always
tell
gonna
me.
agree. So far, we only agreed once, and you see how that goes. So let us know what you think. But that's what it's about, man. Everybody got their own opinion. Music is subjective. Everybody has their own way of hearing things. Sometimes you hear the same song at a different day, different point, different environment, and it
Right.
sound different. Like, you know what I mean? So
For sure.
go check it out. Let us know what you think. Shout out to Oliver Twist, man. So
Who the next one on the slate?
next at bat,
All right.
who do we got?
I think it's another new artist, to be honest with you.
Well, I heard of this artist maybe once or twice, but I
Okay.
was not familiar with their music at all. So, shout out to Jackie Tsunami.
Shout out.
I fuck with that name. That's a hard name.
It is a hard name.
I fuck with that
It
name
is,
right
because
there.
I
Jackie
get it. I
Tsunami.
totally
Yeah,
get it.
I fuck with the name. He's a Q+ artist from Memphis. Shout out to Memphis. I think he's based in Atlanta now. He's been in Atlanta since like 2016, but he's
Right,
from
right.
Memphis originally. And he dropped his previous single, Mine, in 2018. So he's a new artist. I don't think he has a full-length project out yet. He might have a mixtape or something like that, but I wasn't able to find anything. But Nicki Minaj definitely played a big part in his life, he said. Well, not in his life, but in his choice and his decision to become a rapper.
Right.
Early on in his career, he wanted to be a singer. He used to want to sing, but after seeing Nicki Minaj and the way she embraced like lyricism as well as, her sexuality,
Right.
he kind of, took from that and was inspired from that to, do his own thing. He also puts an emphasis on like, doing the footwork, doing your homework and honing your skill and really, finding your sound and fine-tuning your craft. He takes appreciation in the artistry. That was something I got from one of his articles. So shout out to Jackie Tsunami. Have you ever, you said you haven't heard of him before?
I had not heard him before, not before this single that we're reviewing right now. But this artist is definitely, I could hear that he is a lyricist, and he did take that cue from Nicki Minaj.
You can hear what he's,
Not that he's copying or trying to imitate his flow.
It's just influence. We all influenced by people.
We all influenced by something.
That's all we are.
Just
Our combinations of our influences.
Lyrics is where he at, and I'm always here for a dope lyricist. What did you give? What did you give this song?
This my shit. I love this fucking song. Fire. I gave it a fire. I gave it a fire, and I gave it like it's like an 80% fire. Like, so this is my highest rating so far today. We only in 2 episodes in, but this is my shit. I love this fucking song. First of all, I'm a sucker for a good beat flip. We already talked about it with Nino Green and the Beyonce joint. But this is like a different kind of flip. Like he took the mystical song Danger. Been so long, we've been
Sing!
so free. Show me. That's my shit.
The nigga right there.
That's always been one of my favorite mystical joints. I fuck with a lot of mystical shit, but that's always been one of my favorite mystical joints.
Yeah, absolutely.
He took it, flip it. So that's always a dangerous thing, right? You fucking with somebody's shit that was a classic, and you trying to flip it and make it your own. But the way whoever produced it, flipped the beat, was hard. They jumped the drums up a little bit, flipped the drums, threw the flip on. He flipped the right parts. And then he on here spitting. He on here talking his shit. The hook, I love a good rapping ass hook. It ain't no singing melodic hook. The hook is a rap. It's bars. It's like 8, don't play with me. You can say with me. Yeah, that's my shit. He ripped it. He killed the hook. So the hook is a rapping hook. And then he on here talking his shit. And then he like owning his kind of like player pimp side. Like he owning his sexuality. Like he ain't on the hyper masculine like, all right, I gotta take care of you. He like, yeah, nigga, you could pay my rent, but you can't stay here.
Yeah.
You can take care of me. Like we can hang out, we could cool. I enjoy the perks, but nigga, like I'm doing my own thing.
I'm totally
And that's
there.
what we doing. Like, what's up?
I'm
and
here.
And he's spitting. He could spit, he could flow, he got a nice voice, like the tone, he got a dope rap voice, dope rap name.
That always helps. All these things help.
Shout out to Jackie Tsunami, man. I'm fucking with him, man. Great first impression for me. Like,
absolutely.
I fucks with the kid.
Yeah, this is my first time
so
here.
what did you give it?
Oh God,
What did you think?
I gave it a loud.
You gave it a loud?
I gave it a loud ding ding ding.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty close to fire for me. That's it. Like, well, what's the fire threshold?
Fire is 75%.
I would give it like a 74.99999.
Ooh, okay.
It's almost there.
Okay.
I like the fact that he flipped the mystical song. Like this is the age where we flipping a lot of 90s,
It's a lot of
early
flipping
2000s.
going on.
It's okay.
Tory
It's been
Lanez,
happening
the
in
Chicks
rap
tape, like,
for a long time.
yeah,
You can't,
it's
if
been
you
a
do
trend.
it right,
That's the
it'll
key.
hit.
That's the key. You got to
It'll
do
hit.
it right. You got to do it right.
So I like the fact that it's a bouncy, like kind of a New Orleans
It's
bounce
definitely
flip,
a New Orleans
which
bounce flip, but it's like a different, it's like a 2019.
It's a 2019 version,
2020.
which kind of pays homage to itself, the sample in it.
And then he even took the cadence of the soul, please show me. But he did his own rendition of it real quick. He paid homage the right way. He did it right. Like, it was just dope.
Yeah. Like I think this song is excellent. My only gripe is just the fact that it is not necessarily the most original idea. So,
Okay.
But I really feel like if he got on original production, out of here.
Yeah. I mean, you got to hit. I mean, this is the
here.
first we hearing from him. So you got to hit something else.
But this is a great introduction into who he is. It totally fits with his aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Hope you license to carry that pussy stay with me. You feel me? When I'm deep voicing your lyrics,
I fucks with the kid.
I'm fucking with you.
Yeah.
I'm fucking with the kid. I'm looking forward to more of what he bringing next.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to Jackie Tsunami, man.
Shout out to him.
Word.
Support that brother.
So you got a fire and you got a loud. That's pretty good. And our percentages weren't off.
Not off.
You 74.9999. and I'm like 80%. So we like right
Boom.
there.
We right there.
That's pretty good.
It's basically a fire song.
That's what's up, man.
Throw that
Shout
on
out-
your playlist.
Shout out to Jackie Tsunami, man. Go holla at him. It's streaming on all platforms. Like we
already.
said, that joint is called Play. And go check it out, man. Wherever you
right.
get your music, it's available.
For sure.
Who do we got next? Next up.
Next, we got another artist, not really that new. He's been around for a while. Mickey Taylor.
Okay.
Mickey Taylor is a former multi-award-winning British porn star
Oh shit.
that kind of transferred or transitioned into music at about
shit.
2016.
Now, do you know of any other porn stars that made the transition to music? Like from the Q Plus community? Because this is a first for me. I knew that about him. Well, I found out about him, but is that a first? Like, I don't really...
This might be the first that I've heard of that has done music and
Like, he's a porn
transferred.
star
He
first.
was a legit porn
yeah,
star. Like,
and now he's like making music.
award-winning, and now he's making music. I don't think I've heard of anybody like
Interesting.
him. That might be a first.
Okay.
For me. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
I was just curious.
And listen, you could say a whole lot about porn or whatever. You can't.
I mean,
Everybody
come on,
watches
man.
it at
We're
some
grown,
point.
We're grown, man. Like, stop it.
It is
Who don't
what
watch
it is.
porn? Cut it out.
It's a hustle. It's
a
what
job.
people do. It's a job. So it doesn't take away nothing from me.
And it ain't
listening to
easy.
music. It's not easy. I mean, Young and May could probably tell you.
It's not an easy job either.
You know, it is what it is. We kind of we normalize. We could normalize that. It's part of life, and it's a job, and it doesn't take anything away from his music.
Absolutely not.
You already know. And he's also an author. He has written 2 books.
Okay.
He's written 2 books. Mickey Taylor Parts 1 and 2. So part 1 is Complicated Evolution, and part 2 is Almost Mickey.
It sounds like it's like
It's kind of autobiographical.
Okay.
He talks about his struggles with his body image. He's biracial, so talks about coming up like that in the porn industry, and kind of
Interesting.
being sexualized and marginalized.
Interesting.
In that sense.
Okay.
So he's got a bit of a story.
He got
He's gone
layers.
through-
He layered.
He layered. So
Okay.
he got some shit with him, and he also put out 2 albums. Midnight Palace in 2017 and Puppets Lament in 2015.
Okay.
So
So he been around for
he's
a little bit.
Been around. He's got 100 tattoos, over 100 tattoos.
He's
He is
tatted
the fuck
up. Like that
Like,
nigga's tatted.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at the boy.
I
being
love
tatted
good
up.
tats.
Like,
I
if
love
you got
tats.
A tat,
He like a suicide girl. You know suicide girls? They got like all of the tats. She know what I'm talking about.
Listen.
But he like a suicide boy and shit. He
I'm
got
not-
mad tats.
I'm not familiar with suicide.
If you Google
girls.
Google the image, you'll see it.
All
But
right.
he's like the male version of a suicide girl.
All right. Well, I'm not mad at the tattoo situation. If you got it, your body is art. So get that life.
Word.
So we're gonna move on to his record. His single is called One Sided. It came out November 5th, 2019. It's his latest single. It's supposedly coming up from his next album. He hadn't
Oh, it's
dropped
like
name.
okay. So it's
Yeah.
from the project.
Yeah, it's supposed.
People don't do that no more. Like people don't drop singles associated to projects
Yeah.
like very often no more.
Or
Like,
we
you might
don't-
drop just a Lucy, and then people just drop a whole project,
Yeah,
and then that
yeah.
Lucy don't even be on the album and shit.
Yeah, sometimes it is or sometimes it isn't. But I think it's reportedly on his next album, but he didn't really give too much detail on what that is yet.
Okay.
I gave it a Reggie.
You gave it that
I gave it a Reggie.
Yo, you out here.
I gave it a Reggie.
Dirts and Reggies on niggas.
I mean,
whole
son,
that.
Listen. My whole thing is if I'm listening to your song and I have to like do extra work to like enjoy the song, or if I'm finding things that could
Damn,
be
you was
better.
trying to like this shit.
I mean, I don't want to say. I hate saying that. I want to say that.
That's what it sound like.
It is what it sounds like. It is what it is. But it's a Reggie because the production left a little bit to be desired. A lot of it was repetitive. But it is a club banger. Like, if you just looking for a club banger song you want to dance to, I guess it doesn't really matter what the lyrics are saying. But I feel like if you're trying to tell a story or if you're trying to tell some part about yourself, which he was saying a lot in his interviews that he wants his music to kind of tell some of his stories, he's not really giving that with the lyrics on the album. Or he's not really giving that impression. It's kind of being lost on me. But it is a bop. It is
Gotcha.
a little bit of a bop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could get your cardio on with
You
that shit.
your cardio and
You
workout,
get your
like
cardio
get it in.
and do your thing with it. But after that, people. He said he looks up to Sia.
Okay.
Sia's an excellent songwriter who writes danceable
Sia's
songs.
pen is like
but she
ridiculous.
And she's gone through a lot, and she writes it in her music. So to write danceable songs that talk about pain, but it's really, really good, it's a skill. So if you're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
Do it right.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I checked it out. I listened to it, and it's also featuring Eric Spike.
Eric Spike.
So I'm not sure if he's like the producer. Like again, I can't tell who's who. Like these are both new artists to me. But I liked the joint. It was cool. Like I ain't love it, but I liked it. It gave me like, if you ever been to like a W hotel and like the lobby, the music they play, like they always give you some like. It's playing low in the background, but you just feel like moving like a little softly to it. It's like a nice little bop, but it's almost like elevator music, a little bit generic. It's like background music. Yeah. But I do like, it's very repetitive, like you said. You was on the mark with that. He only says like, it's like a hook. He says a hook like a couple times.
That's it.
I kind of like that in a way, though. It has its pros and cons. Like, it's short and repetitive, and it's like, it's not something I want to hear on my playlist. But I like that it's short and sweet, and he's kind of just like, I can't keep living like this. This shit is one-sided. It should be divided. Like, it should be split up. It shouldn't be like this. And that's kind of deep when you look at it, like, at different angles. But it's just like, you gotta, like you said, you gotta go like, all right, let me look and see what this is about. It don't just pop out at you. It's very, like, basic on the surface. You know what I'm saying? So, but I gave it a mid. I gave it, like, on the low end, like the 30. It was, like, on the borderline of the Reggie and mid, but I gave it the mid. I gave it the little extra, maybe like a 32% on the mid grade.
So not that far off.
It's not bad. It serves its purpose. Like you could definitely throw it into the playlist if you're trying to get the party started. Like before everybody get there, this a play up.
This
like
a pregame song.
Just for the people going to get their drinks and they like, okay, it might be a nice little bot tonight. We gonna see how it play out tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like it serves its purpose. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I felt about the shit. It was It was like that breakdown in the middle though, where he's like, I'm going out late with my mates. Like it's like a middle part, and he just came. I don't know if that's Eric Spike or if that's Mickey, but whoever that is came in kind of harsh, and it was just like it was a cringe moment real quick. It was just like, ooh, and then they said it again with the auto tune and all that, and it kind of smoothed it out. But I'm like. Ooh, that part was like maybe whoever that was shouldn't have been singing. Yeah. But you say, it was all right though. I mean,
but you know,
we about in the same range. I was towing the line with the Reggie, but I gave him the mid for the benefit of the doubt.
You guys give us your take.
Let us know, man. Go check that shit out.
Off base. Let me know. We could talk about this.
Very interesting
stuff.
What I'm saying? Mickey Taylor featuring Eric Spike, one-sided.
And for the record, I have not seen any of his porns. I did not try to go look for him.
I didn't either.
I might.
I mean, why not? That's a good idea. Pornhub, I'm sure he on Pornhub.
He a cutie.
If he's a star, like he's a porn star apparently, so he's out here.
So that means he a multi-award.
We should have checked it out. Why didn't we check out the porn? Like,
I don't know, man.
To the people. That maybe we should bring that back up for like a segment of Indie Streets.
Yeah,
all right.
For sure. I'm totally.
We gotta say that. Bookmark that. But go check out the music
that.
in the meantime, and go check out the porn too. Fuck that. Shout out to Mickey Taylor.
Shout out to
Eric
Mickey
Spike.
Taylor.
One-sided. So who's up next? That wraps up all of our Q Plus artists for the day.
The Q Plus.
Shout out to the Q Plus community, man. We fuck with y'all. I know it's kind of crazy. It's hard. We still kind of figuring shit out. You know, it's been kind of more accepted in the community nowadays, more trendy, certain areas of the shit, but we still figuring out. It's a big spectrum. Everybody's not the same. We don't all think the same.
Yeah,
we just happen to be fucking part of the Q Plus community. But, you know, you find different types of people within any community. But that's all it is a community. And we don't want to push it any more than that. We just trying to identify each other and let's build and let's support each other and keep this shit going, man. It's growing at an amazing rate. And we just want to be a part of it, and we want to contribute to it, and this is what we came up with. So who do we got next on the motherfucking ally? Our ally of the day.
Our ally of the day. Is that going to be a thing for us? We're going to do ally of the day? Yeah. If an ally got a release, we're gonna do ally of the day. All right.
Oh shit! So I ain't show y'all Mickey Taylor album cover, which is right there.
Album Taylor.
Check
Mickey
it out.
Taylor, Eric Spike.
I think that's Mickey in the shades, and Eric Spike is in the red joints.
Yeah,
the little
you can see the
joints.
tats on his neck.
The tat it up. But yeah,
so
they out here, man. One-sided. Eric Taylor.
Let's get it. All right, so we're moving on to our
Ally of the day. I like that. I think that might be it, you know?
That'll
We
be
still
it.
working out the tweaks, if y'all haven't noticed. This is only episode 2, so we appreciate y'all for rocking with us, returning and coming back. And stick with us, man. We just getting started. It's going to be a lot more to come, but we definitely, you know what I mean, oiling the joints and working out the tweaks. So bear with us.
All right, so here we go. Ally of the day. Tiana Taylor.
Hey.
Tiana Taylor is
Okay.
our ally of the day. She is a singer, actress, and model, and all-around entertainer from Harlem.
Harlem. What up, Harlem?
You could see the Harlem swag dripping
What up?
when she walks into the room.
She definitely got that Harlem swag and that Harlem confidence.
Here we go.
On 10.
Launched into the spotlight with that episode from Sweet 16. Remember that show? Sweet 16, where, you know, they would get obviously people who are turning 16 and they would throw
On
themselves
MTV,
on MTV,
yes.
elaborate birthday parties.
Yes.
I remember her.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
I remember her being on there.
She
I
was
remember
on there like on
episode.
some regular shit?
I don't know, but I remember her being on the show, but I just forgot.
I definitely don't remember any
the
episodes
episode
of those
itself.
shows.
But I do remember her being on it, but that's where kind of she got her start.
Okay.
She's going on to write for Chris Brown, Omarion, and Usher. Last album was the critically acclaimed Keep That Same Energy, KTSE, released during the Good Music epic string of album releases in 2018. She was the last one to come out. Stars in the reality show Tiana and Iman with her husband, the NBA player Iman Shumpert. And, of course, she's an accomplished actress appearing in a slew of movies and reality shows, such as Medea's Big Happy Family. Remember Byron? Why you got me sounding like a siren? Yeah, that's her.
Okay.
And also was in Stomp the Yard, Homecoming, and will reportedly have a role in the upcoming Coming to America sequel.
That's hard. Yo, everybody's popping up in that fucking
Everybody's
movie.
going, and I'm not
I
gonna
think
be
they
mad.
shot it at Rick Ross' house. Like
Yeah.
it's just it's a lot of wild shit surrounded
it's
by
gonna
that
be
movie. I
epic.
can't wait till it come out.
It's gonna be an event. It's gonna be an event. I know it because obviously Eddie Murphy. We'll get into
Yeah,
that when it
come on.
happens. That's definitely gonna be in these screens.
Is Eddie
but
an ally?
I don't know.
He
I
should
don't
be.
know.
All right, let's keep it moving.
Let's keep it moving. Fun facts. She is Afro-Trinidadian descent.
Okay.
Credited as a choreographer. She was credited as choreographer for Beyonce's Ring the Alarm.
I did not know that.
And she was initially signed to Pharrell Williams' Star Trek record in 2007.
I did know that.
I didn't know that she came out with the Google Me.
I knew she was signed before Good Music, but I
Yeah.
forgot to who.
Yep, Pharrell.
Because she's been around for a
She
little
has
bit.
been around. She's been out there.
Okay.
Been out there for a little while.
Shout out to Tiana.
And
man.
now
I love
Tiana
her.
has the.
So wait, why is she considered an ally?
Why is she considered an ally? She did collaborate with Mickey Blanco on her last record, KTSC, with the what is it?
I forgot the song.
Pop That Pussy.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it was Pop That Pussy.
Was he on it?
He had vocals on it.
Okay.
He definitely had vocals on it.
Okay.
He was doing, I think it was a breakdown in that song where he was kind of giving ballroom.
She definitely showed love to the ballroom.
She does
community,
give
like heavy.
She shows
heavy.
a lot
Absolutely.
of love to LGBT.
That's what's up.
And yeah, so now we have this single Morning,
Yeah.
which I mean, if you look at the cover,
The cover is
She's
crazy.
giving
She already
you-
giving you like,
she's-
I'll do whatever.
right?
But also,
for
like
whatever.
another little quick tidbit. So you mentioned that she married to Iman, who is now playing for the Brooklyn Nets. He's
Right,
an NBA
right.
player. They gave birth to their first kid in the living room. Like she went into her water broke,
Oh,
contractions, the shit went. She went into labor and they ain't have time to leave and go to the emergency room. So he helped her give birth in the living room with 911 on the phone.
you know what?
That's crazy, fam. My sister, one of my sisters gave birth to my niece on Halloween in her bed at our crib, like the house I grew up in.
Right,
She
right.
gave birth like in the crib and then went to the hospital afterwards. But I'm just like amazed at that shit. Like to be able to do that shit And first of all, it's already pressure. Somebody going to labor, you like,
yeah.
what the fuck? And then to have to like give the birth and help with the labor,
Yeah, yeah.
and you not trained, you not technical, like that's some other shit.
That's incredible.
I just thought that was really interesting. That's like the story of their first fucking child.
That's. I mean, look, they are a pretty fit couple. They look like
they
she looks
just
like
a
pretty
strong
healthy.
looking couple.
Yeah, they're
just
strong.
Period.
So I mean, it doesn't shock me so much in the sense that they handled it the right way.
That don't. I mean, it's just still amazing.
But
Like, I'm just
still
in
amazing that it
awe
happened
of
that whole. Cause
that's just wild.
Childbirth is.
And then like, what a story for your first fucking born.
Oh my god!
Like,
Oh my god! Yeah. So shout out
other
to
shit.
them.
Shout out to
and
Tiana Taylor
congratulations
and their
on
family.
their first child.
Word.
Like I didn't know that actually.
and I fuck with Iman. Iman is nice. Shout out to the Brooklyn Nets, man.
You already, of course, and you also recognize Tiana Taylor on. She was doing the intro in Missy's video for Throw It Back.
Yes.
And came back again
Yes.
for the Drip Demeanor
and
video.
she did the infamous Kanye video where she
Right.
was in. It was mad
The
salacious.
Faye
She was in
video.
pretty much.
She was
It
dancing.
looked like she was in a jail cell dancing around.
Yeah,
and shit. But that shit was crazy.
She was kind of giving.
She's
Jennifer
wild out
Lopez,
here. Everybody
yeah.
know about her body. Her body is crazy.
Oh God,
We know her body.
So this is fitting right here. The
Very
misdemeanor.
Very fitting.
I had to throw that in there because
Stupid.
But
So her and
she's got
Kehlani
her
tag
and
team.
Kehlani tag team giving us this sexy single Morning. And
You know I
listen,
like them tie-dye bitches. Hi, Kehlani.
Now, here's the thing. I wish Tiana Taylor would stop teasing people like that. Because you know what
Why?
I'm saying? Come on, man. Just
got it
come
right.
out and say, I'm down for whatever. Nobody
Why?
gonna
Ain't
be
no
surprised or mad.
But ain't no. She might not be. She might just
She
like
might
the.
not.
You know what
She
I'm
might
saying?
just-
She just might just be a genuine freak.
I mean,
and I feel like that's
and
what
that's
she
okay,
is.
too. Like, I
she
guess-
married. She cool. She do what she do. She,
what
ain't gotta.
do. Respect.
Yeah,
But I'm just saying.
she show love.
She does.
She already show support. Like that's
You think-
enough.
You think I'm like gassing it if I'm pulling too hard? If we
If she wanted to do it, she would do it. That's all
true.
I'm saying. So
Nobody
it's
would
like
be
you could gas her
surprised.
all you want. If she wanted to do it, she would have done it already. She already showing us that she with it. She
She's
cool.
with it.
She don't give a fuck. So
She
it's
don't
like
give a fuck. She
I
don't give a
appreciate
fuck.
her just giving nods. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, but this song is definitely a fire for me. Like,
Okay.
it's a fire.
Okay, this
it's
is your
hit.
first
This
fire.
is my first fire.
I think this is your first fire.
Okay, that's fire.
We both got our first
We
fires
got
on this
our first
episode.
fires, yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
This is fire for me. This song is all types of sexy, like just on a musical level. Like they both sound amazing together.
Yeah.
They giving that energy. Kehlani is giving you that life on the record. She's a amazing addition. It is just basically like a really, really good, sexy record.
Okay.
I just fuck with the vibe of it. And I like the fact that it's Tiana Taylor doing it
Yeah.
this big like
Yeah.
that. I really like this song. I can't even say too much about it
Yeah.
because it's just a dope record. Y'all need to get into
I
it.
fuck with Tiana. She's. I mean, I just like her vibe overall. I like her as an artist. I like her
Yeah.
music. I like her dancing. I like her look. I like her style. Like I just like her whole
The
aesthetic.
woman that she's coming
I like the way she
into-
carry herself. I like her trajectory. I like her decisions, her path. Like even the way she deal with good music. She's the only female side to good music.
Yeah.
So like the way she handles herself in that camp, I just fuck with her. I'm a fan of hers.
Yeah.
This joint, I thought it was dope. I gave it a loud. Like a high end loud, like 72, 75%. It was
Okay.
like on the line a loud, but I just thought it's super sexy, super sultry. The video is crazy, but it's like it don't really push no buttons. It don't go out of exactly what it is. It's like a sexy song, a sexy video. It's at the top tier of a sexy, sultry R&B song, but
right.
it don't really give me nothing crazy. Like I ain't really hear no lines that I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like eat the booty like groceries. Like when you heard that line,
Yeah,
you was like,
yeah.
ooh, like people was talking about that one line
That
for a
one
fucking
line.
year. Like I ain't hear no pop out, stand out lines. The video was dope and sultry, but like how many times we done seen two chicks playing, kissing that might be lesbians, might not. Like, all right,
Give
my
a
nigga.
lesbian
It was
tea.
dope for what it was.
Pansexual,
And it was
bisexual
great.
teas.
But it was the best at, that, but
doing
it
that.
didn't give me anything to put me over that like extra edge. So I gave it like a loud 70%. I thought the vocal production was dope, the melodies. I love that Kehlani came in and she was kind of like a rap feature. Like she kind of
did
came
kinda
in with
come in with a little
spitting.
bit
I
of
was
that
like,
edge,
ooh,
right? Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
It was like she was featuring a female rapper.
Yeah.
I loved that. That shit was hard. And the
Come
way it
on.
came, she was a great addition to it. I thought the song was dope. I gave it a 75 loud. So that was my take on it.
Man, there we have it. That
Pretty
is
close. We
pretty
almost
close.
agreed on
we
that.
kind of aligned.
But shout out to Tiana Taylor. Go stream that. Go check out KTSE. Keep that same energy. Amazing album. That was definitely my favorite album in that string of good music releases.
yeah.
That Pusha
Standout.
T shit was crazy too.
Oh,
but
yeah,
that Tiana
yeah,
Taylor
yeah.
just hit. It hit different. Like
hit
that was my
different.
shit. She definitely had the standout project from that little group.
Talented. I love the woman that she's becoming because
Yeah.
coming from Sweet 16, being kind of spoiled and whatnot, to the woman that she's becoming, and us including her as
And her
a
family
ally
and all of that.
and being
Dope.
a family and that body and just being a talented individual.
She's been around the block and
She's
she's
been
still
around the
here and
block.
she's doing
She's
her
still
thing.
here.
Shout out to Tiana Taylor. Go check that shit out. Morning featuring Kehlani.
So that does it for our reviews, man, for the music, right?
All right, so I mean, you know, when you listen to music, usually when you listen to music, you on your commute, you pretty much in the street.
That's
So
in these streets.
what's going on in the streets? We gotta know what's going on,
Man,
And
it's a
you
whole-
like y'all expert. You like the correspondent for the street. You already got your ear to the curb. I already know.
Absolutely, literally.
What they
air
talking about
on
out
the
here?
ground to the streets. Now, not too long ago, we had a football player, Ryan Russell of the Dallas Cowboys.
So okay,
He just came out as bisexual.
I heard about this.
Okay,
I haven't really
yeah.
been following football crazy like I used to. And I never was really a big football guy. Like I'm more of a basketball head,
Okay,
but I
okay.
follow football here and there. I think he's somewhat of a newer like superstar, emerging like budding superstar maybe
That's what
in the
his-
NFL. How long has he been in the NFL? Do you know?
I actually don't know. I didn't really bother to look at his
I don't think he's
his
a vet.
career.
He hasn't
He's
been
not a
around
vet.
for a while.
He's played for a couple of teams, but from what I was reading in the letter, in the essay that he wrote, he wasn't really in the game. Maybe like a few years.
Yeah, okay.
He's got a couple,
That sound about right.
You know, a couple starts. Like he wouldn't be there for too long.
Yeah.
So he wrote this essay about him coming out and the reason why, and just basically a full background. And it's remarkable because he might be the second person to come out, because I think the first one that was really like a news thing was like
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith.
Not Sam Smith.
Michael Sam.
Michael Sam. Damn, I said
Yeah,
Sam Smith.
That guy. I think it's Michael Sam.
It's definitely Michael Sam.
Okay, yeah. So
I
he
knew it was
was-
Sam something.
He was
something Sam.
openly gay, and
But he made a team or he didn't. I think he got drafted, but then he got let go or waived or
Yeah.
something like that.
Or he was
trying out.
he was trying out.
But he didn't really have a career in the
Yeah,
NFL.
he didn't-
and
he
he
didn't-
came out like right before I think he got drafted or right after he got drafted.
Yeah.
Like he got drafted late or something like that. I'm not clear on it. But he was in the NFL for a hot stint.
Yeah, but you know,
But then got released or something like
then
that.
got released. So that's what I'm saying. That just shows you how difficult it is for athletes to, you know, be openly gay or.
I mean, but
queer.
Michael Sam also wasn't the premier football athlete. Like he wasn't a high candidate.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to weigh that into it. I don't think they were discriminating against him just because he came out as gay. I just think his skill didn't match up in a pro level.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that they still drafted him showed that, you know, they are at least somewhat open to the shit. Like we already know the NFL got they got a bunch of issues that they need to work out as far as, you know, groups and society and all of that shit. But I don't know if necessarily that case with Michael Sam was them like being like, all right, he's gay, we can't draft. But it could have been. Like, you know, it's very political in the NFL. So for him to
Yeah.
not make the team, be drafted or be on the team and not really play and then get released, it definitely could have been. But
It could be.
That's
It
kinda
could be. I
up to
mean,
date.
as far as like.
But for this is kind of a different situation
Yeah,
because
this is
this is
definitely
more of a star, like a star player kind of coming out. and being
Coming
like,
out. He's already played for a couple of
A
teams.
little established.
And he chose now to come out officially as bisexual. We published the essay on ESPN.com August 29th, 2019. And what I wanted to talk about was just the letter itself. He's a writer. He's like a writer. He considers himself a really strong writer. And when I read the essay, it reads like somebody
made
who
sense.
writes. He can write professionally. Like
Yeah.
he's really. And I advise everybody to go find this letter, check this letter out, because he goes all in about just struggling with having a football career and then having a successful football career and carrying the burden of having this thing that he can't be open with. His main point was, how can he be effective on the field? How can he be his whole self on the field?
Got this dark cloud over
and not
you.
have this, not being able to share his whole self
Yeah.
to the rest of his teammates. And I thought it was a really well written assessment of what it's like to be a person of color, a male, in a mostly heterosexual dominated industry, and be that one person, or be among many who choose to stay silent, but you be the one to come out. And the ramifications of that decision, and struggling with coming to terms with your sexuality all at the same time.
Yeah.
So I thought it was...
That's so interesting, like that point right there. That's kind of the basis or the reasoning behind the whole Q plus thing, right? It's not necessarily so much as, all right, we trying to put like a barrier or put somebody in a box. It's just, you already know the world we living in. We already at a disadvantage because the majority either thinks like, all right, that's not for me, whatever, it don't matter to me, I don't see it, or it's a choice, or whatever. Like, people just view it how they view it. But at the end of the day, it's always comforting to see people of likeness, see people that you could identify with. Like, us being black or people of color, that's easily identifiable. You could see somebody and tell off the bat, like, all right, that's a person of color.
For the most part.
You know what I'm saying? But you can't necessarily see somebody and be like, okay, are they, you know, they might be family, they might not. It's hard. So we kind of got to make it a little bit more obvious. We have to do that job. We don't have to, but it would just help. You know what I'm saying? It would be comforting for him to be in a league, in the NFL, and there to be some way for him to identify another person that might be, you know, of the same ilk, and not necessarily have to let everybody else know. Like, you could just be like, oh, all right, UQ plus? Oh, word? UQ plus? Oh, word? All right. And not saying that that's the idea that I have for it, but that's kind of just the reasoning behind it. It's just like, it's just a way to identify and have some kind of companionship, some camaraderie with somebody that has, you know, that is of the same, you know, orientation or lifestyle or whatever have you, however you choose to categorize it, just to identify that and be able to point it out.
What I wanted to talk about is some of the struggles that he wrote about as far as his decision to come out. He talked about a blogger who he's just starting to date while he's, you know, while he's a football player, and apparently he was caught by a blogger, you know, with somebody, or at least in a way that the blogger was able to assess that he might be LGBT, and kind of put two and two together.
Gotcha.
As he was trying to, like, maybe not be so obvious about it.
He was trying to be incognito, but not so much.
So the blogger contacted him, I believe, and, you know, told him that, you know, I think you are, you know, whatever, and he had to ask for the favor to not release that, and to publicize that, and to live in that kind of situation where you kind of have to
That's horrible.
Ask for secrecy in order to keep.
That's giving somebody too much power,
because this is dream. This is job that feeds his family. So to have to ask somebody else,
like, damn, don't fuck up my whole shit.
To not do that. Don't mess up my life. You're gonna ruin my life because of this secret. Don't do that. That type of pressure is incredible. Like, the fact that he had to do that, and I just have to commend him for even coming out in that situation, because it's not unlike a lot of musicians.
Imagine how many other people are going through that same
through that, and that's another reason why
they haven't gotten to the point where it's like that.
Because we obviously know if there's one, there's probably way more in the football, you know, playing football that are gay or whatever the case may be. So the fact that he came out and was open and was transparent, he mentioned that he came out to his loved ones before he started playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and, you know, he had a few setbacks being not being reassigned. Like, he played for the Tampa Buccaneers for a couple of years, but his contract didn't get renewed. He had a close friend that died, and, you know, he had a shoulder issue. He had a shoulder pain.
Part of
he had
football.
to play through that, and but he's coming out from all of this pain. He's finally like healing from all of that, loving himself, getting to that. He's gotten to that point personally, and in his professional career is on a come up, and now he wants to bring that together. You know what I'm saying?
So what was he? I saw him on a cover of something. What was he on a cover of? Was it like Variety or something like that? Like I saw him on a cover of some magazine, and it was part of the coming out story.
Right.
Did you see that? Do you know what I'm talking
I
about?
did not. I did not see that.
It might have been Sports Illustrated or something like that.
Yeah,
It was one of
yeah.
those magazines he was on the cover of, though. I saw that. But that's dope, man. Like shout out to him, man.
Shout out
for
to
doing
him
all that,
for
'cause
doing that,
That's
because-
big. Like we need that. We need those figures because you don't see that often. That's
don't
part
see
of.
it.
That's the reason and why it has to be done, because that should be something that's commonplace at this point. Like we know it's athletes that are part of the Q plus
In
community.
2019,
Like, come on.
I just don't think
I
it
was a
makes
Q plus
sense.
athlete, if that's a thing. A Q plus.
Will
athlete.
Sheridan was a Q plus
Villanova.
athlete. He had he
Division
came out
I.
and then decided he didn't want to play no more. I don't know if it was as a result.
Yeah,
of
I don't
all
think
of
he
that.
finished. Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't know if that was part of the reason.
and he was a D1 athlete. Like he was
Yeah.
nice.
I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. See, so it's not something that, but in 2019 you would think like, you know, this should get easier, but it doesn't,
Because more
unless
people don't
artists
step up
like
and come
him
out, you know what I'm
So
saying?
I just want to commend him for being as open and transparent with that essay.
And it's hard. Like we're not saying like it is a lot of pressure, but like you shouldn't feel pressure to come out just because like nobody else is coming out. All right, I got to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have that in them. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be great if more people do, but eventually it will be that way. You know what I'm saying? It's getting better and better, but it ain't about pressure. It's just about getting to that point when you get there. Everybody get there at different points in their life, so you don't necessarily have to feel pressure to do that, but it is something that once you do it, is so much better, and you feel so much of that pressure just like relieved. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody can put you in that situation anymore where they like, all right, I got this fucking story. I think this is what you've been doing. I seen you
Yeah.
with this dude. What the fuck is up? Like, nigga, yeah, it is what it is. Like, that's what I do. Everybody knows. So,
Listen, when I just want to say, when I started to be an artist, I went through a whole time period where I was like, I had just came out to my parents, and during around the same time, I got infected with HIV. So I had to do both. I had the double whammy, and then I was in the military, which was still don't ask, don't tell was still in effect. So I had to like, I was kind of open.
that's a lot.
It was like an open secret. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And only
I
a
know
few
exactly what you're
people.
talking
So
about.
that was what I was dealing with. And then I decided to become an artist while I was in the military. So I was kind of going through a phase where I had to decide if I wanted to be open, would I write about it? And I related to Bryant in the documentary we were talking about last episode in the complex, where, you know, would it make sense for me to talk about guys in my song, or would it make sense to talk about girls in my song? Or
It was
alluding
a
to
whole
that?
thing.
It's a whole.
It's a
whole
process. You
mental
go, and people
fight.
can't relate to that unless you have to
You've
go
been
through it and
through
you
it.
have to think that.
You
So,
know what I'm saying?
but that's the big Q plus. Sometimes you like, all right, I love Nicki Minaj, I love Jay-Z,
Yeah.
I love Black Thought, I love Common.
Absolutely.
But these people can't relate to me on a certain level. It's a
Yeah.
certain ceiling that they're gonna go to, and they can't relate to the other shit.
They can't.
Where do I go to find an artist that's gonna be able to relate to that
And
shit?
this is
How do
when
I find them? Where do I go to Google? What do I type in other than like gay rapper?
That's when I started Google, and I think I happened to run across a magazine article. I don't think I even Googled. I Googled after the fact. I found Tim and West in some article about HIV, actually, because I was like going through that. So it's a whole layered situation.
It is
ladies
layered,
and
man.
gentlemen. So this is real. This is what's going on in
Hey,
these streets out here. We are
and this is
all-
what we bringing
be
you,
struggling,
man. It's
and
about the community. It's about the common thread. It's about relating. It's about
Yeah.
artists. But at the end of the day, it's about human beings. Like we all human
we
beings,
all
and we all
human.
going through the same type of shit. It's just about talking about it and relating to the commonalities and even the differences. The differences make us. The differences is what make us individuals. Like we don't think the same. You see, we disagree all the time on
Yeah,
music. Like, but that's
absolutely.
part of the great thing. That's part of the strength. What makes us have a strong relationship, because those differences make me think in different ways that I might not have thought. And you know, you come back around, that just makes you a better person. It makes you a
sure.
richer person, a fuller person, and a well-rounded person. And that's all we're trying to do with this community. Highlight the Q plus artists, the beautiful people of the Q plus community, and our allies, man. Some people who fuck with us. And you don't necessarily even have to fuck with us. Just don't fuck with us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Don't come through.
That's
don't,
it,
Don't
man.
try it.
That's
don't
it.
try it. You
And
know what
on
I'm
that
saying?
note, man, we're gonna see y'all later. We feel like you know what I like to do around this time. I need a little, you know what I'm saying?
We gotta unwind
A little something.
bit. We
Yeah,
gotta
unwind.
decompress,
I gotta
because you know
decompress and
shit's
shit.
heavy.
So we might see y'all in a little section.
Yeah.
later, so
We'll figure it out.
peace, man. But hey, hit us up. Let us know y'all thoughts on all of these artists that we reviewed, all of this music, and let us know what y'all think about what's going on in these streets, man. We
Yeah.
talked about last time we had a documentary for you, and this time we got a NFL football star coming out. So what do y'all think about this shit? I know y'all see it,
It's a
so
lot
let us
going
know.
on.
We let y'all know what we think. Let us know what y'all think, man, and we'll catch y'all on the next episode.
For sure.
But right now, we're gonna have a smoking
Session in the smoking section.
There we go. What's going on, y'all? What's
I like
up? Y'all
that.
still with us?
I
Y'all
like
still with
that.
us?
I hope you are.
Hey, well, if you here, welcome and thanks for hanging out.
Facts.
We chilling. We chilling today.
We are
What's
chilling.
going on? So, you know, this cannabis culture it's a lot. You know, it's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of shit that comes with it,
Right.
and it's a lot of questions that need to be answered.
For real, I got a question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My question is, how do you roll a blunt?
Ooh.
I've always wanted to know that because it looks like a real interesting process. And I've been trying to learn for the longest. Can you break that down for the people? Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what we smoking right now. We smoking a blunt, as
Yeah.
we do in the smoking section.
Shit. It's pretty.
Yeah, blunts are interesting, man. It's different, you know, methods and tools and ways you can consume weed.
Right.
And blunts just happen to be one of them. It's my preferred choice of consumption. I love blunts. My favorite. So the thing about blunts is you gotta know, one, how to roll, and then two, what to roll with. So I'm gonna show you both of those today.
Okay.
That's a great question.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I already got one roll, so while you smoking on that, I'm gonna get the other one going. So like I said, you need to know what to roll with. So what do you roll with? My preferred choice is Dutchess. I love Dutch Masters. Anybody who smokes have either heard of or know what the Dutch Master is and looks like. And then they have different sizes. You got like the regular cigar size, which is the big ones.
Right.
And then you got the cigarellos. I prefer the cigarellos because they're smaller. I used to smoke the big ones all the time. Pause.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna do it to you, but you did it to yourself
know,
with
it
the
was like,
cells.
damn. That's crazy. But yeah, like, so I use the Dutch cigarellos, but you can't necessarily get them everywhere. Depending on where you at in the city, you have limited access to them.
Right.
So the closer you are to the hood, chances are you got more of them. But then the further away you get from the hood, you got them here and there, but it's like specialty cases.
Yeah.
And then they're also more expensive than like the cheaper version, which is like the Swisher Sweets or like White Owls or something like that. Those are more like, they don't have as much as the leaf. It's like more like tobacco paper. But yeah, so we're gonna, you know, learn how to roll a blunt. And it's also similar to like the rolling papers. Like you have rolling papers, that's like the white ones, joints. But these are L's, blunts, you know, bogeys, what else they call them?
They call these bogeys.
Yeah. Do they call them bogeys?
Thought bogeys was cigarettes.
Bogeys are cigarette stoves. I thought stogies were cigarettes. All right, but anyway, we gotta learn how to smoke some blunts and roll some blunts. Smoke some blunts and roll some blunts.
Let's do it.
Smoking and rolling and smoking. All right, so what are we using today? We're gonna be using the Show Sweet. So we got the Show Cigarello. It would be nice if I actually had one in here instead of this just being a wrapper, but I'm gonna grab that other pack right now.
Nigga. Get your life together.
And we're back.
EarthTone. You know what I'm saying?
So we smoking the Show Cigarello, so you can see the size. Those who are watching this on YouTube can see the size.
Right.
But if you're just listening, you know, it's kind of smaller than the actual cigars, like I mentioned earlier. So the cigar is a regular size, and then you got the Cigarello, which is a bit smaller. I like to use the Cigarellos because, for one, you can serve weed. Like, I'm smoking on a budget. Like, you know, I got a nice budget, but I don't want to just be wilding out. You know what I mean? So you want to conserve.
get the cigarillos. Bam. Now, you're going to take your cigarillo, and you got to prep it. Get it ready. So, they come in a little... It's like a package of 3 or 4 usually. Right. The Show Sweets, they got a 4-pack. So, you got your cigarillo like so. You're going to take that, and it's dry. It's paper. You know what I mean? So, you got to moisten it, because when you're working with paper, if it's dry, it's going to kind of crumble. It's going to be easy to rip.
It smells good.
It's flavored. Yeah. I was about to say thank you, like I made it and shit. But yeah, these are what is it, tropical twister.
This nigga.
That's the flavor of this one. I mean, I don't usually go crazy about the flavors, but I'm gonna use the flavors on this one. So, you're gonna take the blunt, and there's like a seam, so it comes together, it's like a split in the middle. You could kind of see it if you look closely. That's where you wanna break it at. So you want to break it at the seam, and once you do that, it's going to kind of help you break it along. You're going to kind of more so just have to guide it than anything else.
I've seen people break those open with the razors.
Yes. So some people use razors because it's easy. It's just like a tool, you know what I'm saying? Similar to, the grinder that we're going to be using, but it's just a tool to use it open. Like I usually just use my fingers. I used to use razors, actually. That's kind of how I started doing it. I couldn't break it down, especially the bigger the cigars.
I couldn't break it down. I was doing the same thing.
You got the box.
I kept it in the bun because you gotta hold it down.
There you go. So, but the most important thing before you start is you gotta moisten it. Now I know you probably seen people rolling a blunt before, and you're like, ew, like they licking it and the spit and all that, man. That's why you don't want to smoke with just anybody. You want to make sure you know who you smoking with and you know who you smoking behind. You don't want to just take a weed or a joint or anything like that from anybody that you don't know. So first and foremost, make sure you trust the person that's rolling your blunt.
Facts.
Then you want to moisten it, so you got to moisten it a little bit. Just dampen it. You don't want to go crazy. Just so it's not super dry when you go to crack it. So you're going to find a seam, which is right in the middle, and then you're going to break it down the middle just like that. Now, you want to make sure you got a little trash bin or trash bag handy, because you're going to have to get rid of these guts. They use the guts just to pack it and for the paper to keep its shape. You don't want it to be flat because it's rolling around. Like, they want to make it the size of what you're going to be using for, which is the blunt. So it's like a long cylinder shape. So you're going to crack that open, and then you're going to get rid of the innards. So as you're cracking it, you're splitting it down, you want to gently kind of break it apart. You're not really splitting it no more at this point because you're going down the seam and it's kind of going the natural path that it would, take the rip. So once you get it to the bottom, you're going to crack that open, then you're going to get rid of the innards.
Facts. You got to get up in them guts.
The guts,
you gotta get
the
up
innards,
in them guts,
all of that.
Get them out. You know what I'm saying? Hollow it out. Feel me? Make sure it's good.
Get rid of that. Clean that up. Make sure that's ready.
That for that insertion.
Make sure it's clean and ready.
Make sure it's clean and ready.
I mean, don't play no games. All right, so once you get past that phase, then you're going to have to, seal the edges. So you got, at this point, it's like a rectangle, the paper. And you want to seal the edges, so all around it, the circumference for, as you will. Now, moisten that up.
Moisten.
You gotta get it nice and moist.
And get that pussy moist.
Seal it. You gotta use your tongue and your lips. Kind of get the paper in between your tongue and your lips and kind of seal it and press it like you would do an envelope almost.
Yes. Seal it like an envelope. That is a song.
Seal it like a...
Seal it like an envelope.
We're gonna have to edit that and take that out because we don't want nobody to take that out. But yeah, you're gonna seal it, seal it around the edges. Once you hit all 4 sides, you're ready for your trees. Now, on today's menu...
What we got on today's menu?
Ice cream cake.
Ooh, get that ice cream.
By way of Mr. Happy. Shout out to Mr. Happy.
Shout out to... I thought it was from Mr. Softy.
No, not Mr. Softy, Mr. Happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, because Mr. Softy's always around.
Oh yeah, Mr. Softy got that too. But this is that ice cream cake. So this is what we're going to be smoking today.
Is that like a sativa indica hybrid?
I think it's a hybrid. Yeah, okay. They usually only give me the hybrids. Right. But so you're going to need your grinder. Now you don't need the grinder, but you kind of need the grinder. You could break the weed up with your hands, but you got to think about the shit you working with. So if you got some good and it's like moist, sticky, that's what they, that sticky, that's where that come from.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you don't want to be breaking that up. It's like really moist. You want to get it nice and crumbled to a nice size, but it's hard to get that done with just your fingers. Now you could do it if you ain't got no other choice, but
right.
I would advise that, you do both. So that's what you do. And then, what is it? I'm gonna use the grinder. So you got your wrap. So now you're ready for your trees. You know what I mean? You're gonna hit your grinder. Like we said, you get your nice chunk. You put it in your grinder. You're gonna grind it up real nicely. And then once you open it, it's like a second chamber. So you gotta twist it open.
Right.
Opens it up, and it's like a little cup. And you got your nice little stash of, freshly ground weed. And now you're ready to put it in your wrap. So you're gonna take your wrap, that you rolled and sealed, and you're just gonna lightly tap it. You're gonna tap the trees in there. You're putting them in there lightly. Now you don't wanna go crazy because you gotta spread it evenly. You wanna put it the whole length of the blunt. You know what I mean? So you have to spread it out, and you wanna get it nice and balanced, nice and even. Spread it with your fingers a little bit, you know what I mean? Get everything nicely proportioned, because you don't wanna have a lopsided L.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then once you get that ready, you're ready to close it up. So you're gonna roll it up like a little, like a roll, kind of like a little purse. Yeah. All right, roll it up, and you're gonna seal the top. You know what I mean? And then you're just gonna fold it over.
Lick it like a little envelope. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. And then it turns into like a stick, like a blunt.
For you ASMR folks. You know what I'm saying? That is the sound of him licking the blunt.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? If you're stimulated by that.
And then for the final phase, you're gonna have to take the blunt, and now it's kind of moist because you've been sealing here and there. And for it to burn better, you want it to be a little bit dry.
Facts.
So you're gonna do what we call baking. So you're gonna take a lighter. You know what I mean? And you can't do this with a match. Like, you can light a blunt with a match, but you can't bake with a match. You need you a lighter. Take the lighter. You're going to put some, apply a little heat to the blunt. You don't want to go too crazy because you don't want to burn the shit. So you want to keep the fire moving so it's not on one spot for a long length of time. You know what I mean? You're just baking it. So you're getting it nice and warm, baking it up, drying it up, boom, 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 boom. So you do one end because you could only hold one end at a time. And then you flip it over, do the other end, baking it, baking it, baking it, baking it. You know what I mean?
Bake that shit.
It's not bad, right?
It's not bad.
But you want to get it nice and baked because it's gonna be, it's gonna be kind of moist. So the more you bake it, the more you get it nice and a little dried out, the better it's gonna pull, the better it's gonna, So it's gonna be a nicer pull for you.
It's kind of mesmerizing, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Look at the science behind that shit. That shit looks so kind of crazy, complicated. Beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, though. You know
it's a process, you know what I mean? It's all about the process. So there you have it. Now you got your blunt. And now we ready to, we ready to go. This is it.
Let's get it.
You in there. You out here. You done did the damn thing. You know what I mean? So how you feel about that? You think you feel like you learned something new today?
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
Absolutely. Looks like I want to try it. But, I understand that,
Just so you know, your first L is going to be
trash.
Right, yeah. Everybody's first L is terrible. Don't get discouraged. It happens to everybody. My first few L's were trash. But eventually you get the hang of it. You know what I mean? You learn as you go. You fuck it up. Because it's one thing to see it, but then once you actually try to do it yourself, it's different. But practice makes perfect. So that's eventually what happens. Nobody's great from the start. You gotta start somewhere. So try it out. Let us know. Do you roll blunts? Are you an expert? Are you a pro? Where you at on the scale? You an amateur, novice? You never rolled a blunt in your life? Do you even smoke blunts? What do you smoke out of? We're gonna get into more in the next smoking section.
All right.
Peace.
You know that from coast to coast, where there's dope, there's hope. Where there's dope, there's hope. Sheesh. Wait. Is it lit?